a video. Before I start this, I need to go smoke some weed. I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. That was a long smoke break. But at the same time, I was really guided to do a lot of things during it. When I was trying to think of what to do for this video, so much came into my mind, so much started to swirl, and then the one thing that really stuck through after all that, after gaining clarity, was when Santa Muerta came through. And it kind of got trippy from there at one moment. Okay, I started this off all wrong. Let's get comfortable, guys. Let's get comfortable. Like, literally... I'm not trying to talk like a podcaster. I'm not trying to... I just want to be myself for this one. Here, let's all like meditate for a second. Like, just a second, guys. Take a moment out of your day to just focus on your breath. Really try to tune into your ancestors. Really try to feel them in your DNA. Try to feel them. You are your ancestors. Your mom is who brought you here. Her mom, her. And I'm playing some like Mayan music in the background. It has a binaural hum. I didn't know it had that. I like the flute. It really reminds me of pretty much what I came on here to talk about. And like I went on a trip to Sedona, and it was amazing. But at the same time, when you walk this path, there's a lot of... Actually, I'm gonna take my glove. Taking them off. There's a lot of things that we don't think of, right? That we don't, as magicians, as witches, as shamans. We're not always thinking about what we don't know. And that's very hard to, I guess, to perceive. But as well, that's what our clairvoyance is for. That's why we're doing all this work. Is not exactly... We all want to be on our journey, right? Like, we all want to... A lot of people have, like, monetary gain in their mind. I don't really. Like, I mean, all the time I'm programmed by what's around me in society, but I don't really think... I'm trying with every year less and less to think about money and to think about more my ascent and my rise, because when we die, right? What's after death? Now think about that. Like, literally just take a second to think about that. And as I say that, an owl I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I literally start to hear an owl. I hear it every morning when I do breathing meditations. That's funny, actually. This is exactly when I usually do them. And it's literally 10 or 1 or 10:01 or 10:01 binary, right? The universe speaks to you in binary. The universe speaks to you through the matrix, through life, through, if you believe it to be, life as a simulation. And the thing is, life, whether you've seen movies that kind of try to show you, like The Matrix or Terminator or okay, can't think. There's so many movies, right? Life really is the Matrix, and not exactly how they're trying to portray it, but life is a simulation in all ways, and it's what you do that creates the outcome. And what we teach at Black Dragon is a lot about creating your own reality, manifestation, wisdom, knowledge, strength. When you're in when you're sorry, fuck this shit. Okay, when you're in this game, right? We perceive it to be one way. And then reality starts to show us other, like, it is completely different than what it really is. And we start to go another way because of what life shows us. This is what the simulation is. The simulation is life. Some talk about the oath of the abyss. When you take the oath of the abyss, you're literally choosing to say that whatever comes to me today, in this moment, in this minute, whether it be thought, person, event, again, there's the owl, I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna embrace it for what it is, despite how I think it is or how others perceive it to be when I present it to them. And I'm talking about everyone's path, everyone's reality, what they're supposed to be. No one can tell you what you're supposed to be except you. Because you don't even know what you're supposed to be, right? So, when someone tells you, say, go to college, okay, if that's for you, then yeah, go to college. But if that's not meant to be in your, if that's not in your blueprint, then you're not going to go. Everything in reality is going to show you, no, this is the way. Go this way, go this way. And a lot of people, it's for a lot of people, specifically people that, you know, if you think you're an entrepreneur, a businessman, a magician, a shaman, these systems were good to ground us, but at the same time, at some point we have to throw away, like Belial teaches, right? We have to throw away all things that are holding us down, that are programming us, and we have to go about our own path. And for me, this is the middle path. This is the path of the shaman. I work with light and as well dark. I went out, pretty much I got on here to say, I went out to Sedona. Oh, actually I have a crystal. Okay. This is a crystal. I hope you guys can feel the vibration. I don't know how this works, but I forgot. It's I forgot what kind of crystal it is, but it's for wisdom, grounding, strength, protection, and I got it when I was out in Sedona, and we started to I got it specifically, oh my gosh. Okay, the moment that I started to hold this, a lot started to come into my mind. I'm gonna put that right there. We never know what the journey is gonna be until we take it. I went out to Sedona with some friends, and we were going to, in a sense, we're gonna do a lot of different things. But mostly we wanted to see the ley lines for the solstice. We wanted to just meditate on different vortexes and kind of just soak in those energies and kind of understand what we're meant to do next in life, and not like I was trying to manifest my purpose when I went out there, and like every time I do that or I try to do that, life kicks me in the ass. Because I went out there thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this. These are the things that I want to manifest. This is what I'm gonna create. And I'm someone that practices. I went into this path as a magician, but at the same time I was calling myself a shaman, thinking that these were all different. But the more that I understand this path, I see that they're actually all the same, and that when we, like, there's a book that I have here. Alright, one moment. This has also been very relevant in my life lately. If you guys can see it, oh my god, the Book of the Five Rings. And I'd recommend reading anything by Miyamoto Musashi. He's someone to help you with focus and balance. Because as well, he teaches to see the path in all ways. And I think that's something that's really relevant to all of us. Because whether you're a witch, you're a shaman, you're a spirit guide, or you're someone that chooses to just embrace a path, we shouldn't judge others because they're walking a different path or have a different label. Because in a sense, all paths emanate from the same source. They're just energies interpreted different, whether it be race, whether it be sex, whether it be gender. And it's when we see the path in all ways, as well, using and applying magic in our daily life. And I feel this is a good way to like start to remove the filter that we have in perceiving life. Because when we look at, oh, magic is just in the ritual space, in the temple space, then that's where we keep it. Then Lucifer can only talk to us in ritual. Thoth can only talk to us in ritual. I have to stay in my room all day to do my rituals. Like, no, but when it's like magic is everywhere. It's all the time talking to us and communing with us. This is what the simulation is. Like, you know what I mean? This is what's always talking to us. We are always talking to it. Right is right. Magic's all around us. Magic is the elements. It's life itself. When you start to understand what magic is, what energy or key is, or whatever term that you have for it, source, I think that's when we start to really understand what it is. And when you're not only talking to magic, but magic is talking to you, and you're listening. And by magic, I just mean any form of energies. because a lot of people try to separate things like, oh, I'm only Luciferian, or I'm only Buddhist, or I'm only this or that, but we all have many different guides among many different pantheons, and energies behind one mask of energy as many is or can be many energies, such as Lucifer, in my belief, is Shiva, or Shiva is Lucifer, whatever way you want to put that. And the more that I work with these energies, I start to go back and back and back and back, and they show you more of themselves the more that you work with them, and the more that you work with different aspects of Lucifer, because Lucifer wouldn't be Lucifer if Shiva wasn't Shiva. Like, in the same way that you wouldn't be who you are now if you weren't the past versions of yourself. And as well, we can look at ourselves in a similar way, where we are our higher self, but at the same time we don't always know that we're our higher self, or we're striving to become that God self, that God form. And Lucifer is one of those emanations that helps you, as they see us at our highest potential, at our full potential, and that's why they're also so hard on us. Sometimes, depending as well on who we are, what we need. Some people need love, and that's why, like for me, I was someone that went through a lot of trauma before, I've always been on this path, but before stepping onto the path, whether it be relationships, near death, just a lot of things that took me out of myself. They see that they're empathic, like as well. They teach you to control your emotions, and that when you're able to focus on things and not be so emotionally like tilted, whether by your own chaos and your own storm, or the chaos and storm of others and what they bring to you, they teach you how to control your emotions. But yeah, so in my belief though, Lucifer and Shiva are the same being. And it's in a similar way where if your past self, or say actually you already became your future self, right? That already does exist. We're getting interdimensional. That already does exist. That's already in that time and space. That self can commune with you and tell you things, just as another deity can commune with you and tell you things. So it's like similar. I think that some beings choose to, and as well, so these beings know that, right? And they're actually just trying to show us this, that we are one form of energy, we are our soul, and that when we're linked into our soul, or our source, our higher self, whatever you want to view it as, this is when we can start to interact with different dimensional aspects of ourself. A show that has this in a similar way is Rick and Morty, right? Because in Rick and Morty, Rick has the Council of Rick. We all have our own council, and these are all different, you could say different dimensional aspects of who we are and ourself. Just as Ra talks not as he is really a deity or really a being, but more he is beings and a council of energy, like a collective of energy, all as one source. So it's like, imagine if there's 1,000 of you and you were all working towards one agenda, and that was your path. This is what we all are. This is what Lucifer is. And it's similar when Lucifer chooses to incarnate, or when Lucifer, yeah, you could say, because the deities, gods incarnate, and they choose to incarnate to serve a certain agenda, where it's like they don't incarnate the same way that we incarnate, but for them it's dropping vibration. So the original source that being is, when it drops its vibration, it becomes a fragment of what it was. So just as when we choose to incarnate, we're dropping our vibration, we're dropping ourselves as into who we are as the vessel and the avatar that we're choosing to play out. That is similar what deities do. And that's why you see those forms of energies, whether it be Lucifer, whether it be Shiva, among many different pantheons, because you see them across you see them across many different pantheons, because in a sense they're all the same energy. Lucifer and Shiva, you could say to the Roman era he was Lucifer, but as well, if we go further back, before shedding his skin into Lucifer, you could say he was Shiva. He was a more primal or primordial being. Not to say that one predates the other, that's putting a time on it. A lot of these things are even before time or don't even exist within the bounds of time. So when we're looking at that as a whole, it's just as we are not our higher self yet, but we're becoming our higher self. We're taking steps each and every day, walking ourselves to our higher self, and every day we're becoming reborn, we're becoming new. And it's like from that newness, from that rebirth, we become a new being. I'm not who I was last year. I'm not who I was 10 years ago. Just like I'm not who I was even, Alan Watts says, you have no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago. That's because in every moment we're learning new things. We hold these beings to what we think they are, but yet we're forgetting that if we're growing daily from what we're doing, then of course Lucifer, of course these beings are growing at a phenomenal rate that is way past than what we could ever understand, really. And as they do that, as they grow, they're shedding skins. So when I see people talk about, I still don't fully know this, right? I'm learning just as we all are, but a Maimon, right? Maybe with all the people that say that a Maimon isn't Lucifer, maybe a Maimon is. But as well, maybe Lucifer chose to go about at some point his evolution in a darker route. So that would come about a darker manifestation of his being, just as at any moment we could be in our shadow. And because we're so in our shadow, we are in a different state. So therefore we are a new being. So I've created a new being by thinking as if I'm that, such as fighters. Fighters, they will have alter egos or personas in which when they're fighting, they go into the ring as that, and they make sure that they leave the ring as that, and they leave that persona in the ring as to not damage, their own psyche or themselves with what they feel that they have to channel. You could say it's similar with a Maimon, similar with a Noctilucus. I don't exactly know the name, but I know that's another form of Lucifer as well. So the more that we dive into these different aspects of this being that we know as Lucifer, that we know as Shiva, we as well start to immerse more of ourself. And as well, this is the gnosis that these beings bring, that Lucifer brings. They're trying to liberate us. They're trying to wake us up and show us who we are. They're not trying to enslave us like many gods do. They want to see us at our highest potential. They want to see us fully who we are. And the only way that they can do that is by teaching the only way that they know how, the way that they commune with us. They don't commune always through, depending on the being, always through words. They might talk to you from birds in the sky, just caw, like just flying by and saying a message, because the crow is the messenger. So as well, the more that we work with these beings, we actually start to take on these energies and we start to become them. And as I was talking about magic in the beginning, when we are becoming magic, when we are doing magic, when we're doing these rituals in our room, in our sacred space, wherever we might be, it's not, or it's all to take it into the field. It's just as a warrior trains every day. They throw their punches, right? They throw their kicks. They just do the same thing, same motion over and over and over again. Like same thing as musicians. If you're practicing an instrument such as the guitar, we're always doing the same motions over and over again, and we're trying to get the muscle memory, and then we're trying to get the muscle memory down so well that we're linking the spiritual to the muscle memory, so that we can imbue with whatever we're doing, whether it be art, music, martial arts, even just thinking, so that we're imbuing this spirituality, this energy, this current, whether it be Lucifer, Shiva, whether it be whatever being it might be for you.
Black Dragon.